Dear students, very warm welcome in this new era of online teaching or teaching through the videos or audios, whatever it is. But we, the teachers, all the teachers are trying our best not to leave you in the lurch in this difficult period of time. Now, come to the point. All of you, the students of class 11, you are going to begin the study, and here, obviously, I am going to teach you English, and today I am going to start a poem in your syllabus. The poem is composed upon Westminster Bridge, composed upon Westminster Bridge by the poet William Wordsworth. So this is the poem, upon Westminster Bridge, and the poet is none other than William Wordsworth. Dear students, I hope all of you must have heard the name of the greatest poet, William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth is one of the greatest poets among English poets, and William Wordsworth is regarded as a poet of nature. He is one of the founders of Romantic age of poetry. So William Wordsworth is also called a romantic poet. Dear students, here the word romantic and the word romanticism has a different context. Here, romantic age of poetry. What is romantic age of poetry, and why do we consider William Wordsworth as a romantic poet? As far as context of English literature is concerned or English poetry is concerned, the word romanticism means love for nature. Love for nature, love for mankind, love and regard for simplicity. These things are the different characteristics of romantic poetry. So, love is one of the characteristics, no doubt about it, but there have been so many things. First and foremost is nature. Nature, both in its both forms, nature, natural behavior of the human beings, natural perspective of the human beings, and nature as we find in this universe. So, William Wordsworth is regarded as a poet of nature. Nature is everything, everything for the poet William Wordsworth. The poet William Wordsworth celebrates his personal relationship with nature in his poem. Dear students, please take care of what I have told you. William Wordsworth celebrates his personal relationship with nature in his poems, and this poem also is not an exception. It is one of the romantic poems. We find the characteristics of romantic poetry in this poem. In this poem, we find the description of nature. The different objects of nature are here, and natural beauty at its peak. So, dear students, you must remember nature, natural beauty, the beauty of nature, natural objects, the elements in nature, all these things have a very special place in the poems of William Wordsworth. So I think this is enough at this standard about William Wordsworth and about his love for nature. Now come to this poem. Boys, in class 11, you have to analyze the poem, you have to understand a poem with two different aspects. One aspect is what is the theme of the poem, what is the central idea of the poem, and another aspect is the format of the poem. What kind of poem is this? What is the format of this poem? And another aspect, as I have told you, what is the content of the poem? First, let's talk about the format. It may be new things for you. New things for you. First, remember, step by step, point wise, you should note down. The poem upon Westminster Bridge is a sonnet. Sonnet, S-O-N-N-E-T. What is sonnet? Sonnet is a poem of 14 lines, 14, 1-4. Sonnet is a poem of 14 lines with a certain rhyming scheme. Certain rhyming scheme. I will tell you about rhyming scheme later on, but remember this poem is a sonnet. After this is a Petrarchan or Italian type of sonnet. This poem is a Petrarchan or Italian type of sonnet. What is the speciality? What is the special feature of an Italian sonnet or Petrarchan sonnet? I have already told you, sonnet is a poem of 14 lines. This 14 lines in Italian sonnet is divided into two parts. The first part, consisting of 8 lines, is called octave. O-C-T-A-V-E. Octave. Octave consisting of 8 lines. And the second part, consisting of 6 lines, is called sestet. S-E-S-T-E-T. So, Italian or Petrarchan type of sonnet is divided into two parts, octave and sestet. And it follows a certain rhyming scheme. What is the rhyming scheme, boys? Rhyming scheme is actually tukbandi, ek lay. It follows a certain rhyme. What is the rhyme? Look at here. The first line ends with the word fair, fair. And the last line of the stanza ends with where, fair, where. This is rhyming, fair, where. And the second line, pass by, by. And the third line, majesty. So this is the rhyming scheme, fair, by, majesty, where. Rhyming is fair, where, by, majesty. Again, fair, where, bear, air. Fair, where, bear, air. 8 lines. These are the 8 lines. First line rhymes with 4th line, then 5th line, then 7th line. Again, the rhyming scheme is by, majesty, lie, sky. So these are the rhyming scheme, and these rhyming scheme is called, remember this, boys, this rhyming scheme is called ABBA. ABBA, 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 ABBA. First 8 lines. And in the next 6 lines, the rhyming pattern is CD, CD. This is very simple. CD, CD. C, hill, will, still. C, C, C. Hill, will, still. This is the rhyming pattern. And D, deep sleep. Deep, asleep. This is, line starts with sleep, deep, asleep. Steep, deep, asleep. C. And D is hill, will, still. So this is called a rhyming pattern. Rhyming pattern. So this poem is a sonnet, Italian sonnet, with a certain rhyming pattern of A, B, B, A, A, B, B, A, C, D, C, D, C, D. Dear students, as I have told you, you have to study the poem in class 11 with a different outlook. You have to go through with every details mentioned in the poem. And here I am talking about the use of figures of speech. When we try to analyze a poem, we talk about chand. In Hindi, it is chand alankar. I have already told you about chand, rhyming pattern. This is called versification, chand. And another thing is alankar. In English, it is called figures of speech. And two figures of speech have been used in this poem also, and you must know it. What is the first figure of speech? It is called simile. S-I-M-I-L-E. Simile. What is simile? Simile is a figure of speech in which two similar things are compared with the help of as or like. When two similar things are compared by using as or like, it is called simile in poetry, in English poetry. And what is the use of simile here in this poem? I am just reading out a line from the poem. This city now doth. Doth is the old English word. It refers to does. This city refers to London. I will tell you about this later on. This city now doth like a garment wear. This city doth like a garment wear the beauty of the morning. This city now doth like a garment wear the city of morning. What should be the simple explanation of this line? This city wears the garment, this city wears the beauty of the morning like a garment. Is it clear to you? Let me explain it to you. We, the persons, wear a garment, cover our body with clothings, with dress. We wear it like we wear it. We wear the garment. We cover our body with the garment. Similarly, the city London wears the garment like the beauty of the morning. It means that the city London is covered with the beauty of the morning. So here is the simile. The word garment has been compared with the beauty of the morning. This is the use of simile. Very simple it is. This city wears the beauty of the morning like a garment. This is the use of simile. Another personification, another figure of speech, another use of figure of speech is called personification. Personification. You have already heard it. The word personification has the root word person. So what is personification, dear students? When non-living things are treated or described in a poem like a person, it is called personification. Person is there, we all are the persons, but when something that is not a person is treated like a person is called personification. And in this poem, two natural elements, two natural objects. One is the supreme object, the sun. The sun, the eye of heaven. William Shakespeare calls the sun the eye of heaven. The sun, the supreme element in nature, that has also been treated like a person in this poem. How? Let me explain it to you. How? Here the poet describes, never did sun more beautifully steep from the mountain top. The sun is steeping to the valley like a person. Can you take it? Can you understand it? Just a person steeps down to the slopes from the mountain top to the depth, to the valley. Similarly, the sun rays, the sun is also coming down, steeping down from the mountain top to the valley. So here the sun has been treated like a person. Another natural object that has been treated like a person is the word the river. The river. Which river is referred to here, boys? River, the Thames. This bridge, Westminster Bridge, is upon the river Thames. So here the poet William Wordsworth is talking about the river Thames, and the river Thames has been described, has been treated here like a person. How? Look at this. The river glideth, Old English word it is, you should take it as glides. The river glides at his, mark the pronoun his. This pronoun his, H-I-S, is used for a person. When we have to use a pronoun for the non-living thing, very obviously we use the pronoun it. It, the tree, the sky, the river. For these things we generally use the pronoun it. But here the poet William Wordsworth uses the pronoun his for the river Thames. Another point, boys. This river glides. This river glideth at his own sweet will. Does any river has his own sweet will? Can any river glide or flow with his own sweet will? Perhaps not. But it is the greatness of William Wordsworth. It is his admiration for nature that he has treated even the river Thames like a person. The river Thames has its own, according to Wordsworth, the river Thames has his own sweet will, and it is gliding, it is flowing early in the morning with his own sweet wish, with his own sweet will. This is personification. So boys, we have talked about the content of the poem. Not content. We have talked about the format of the poem. And what are the important points about the format? This poem is a sonnet. This poem is an Italian or Petrarchan type of sonnet. Second point, the poet has used simile, a figure of speech, simile in this poem. And where is the simile? What is the simile? This city wears the beauty of the morning like a garment. This is simile. Another point, the poet has used personification. The poet has personified the sun and the river. Personification has other words also. There is a question here in this book. How does the poet refer to the sun and the river? How does the poet refer to the sun and the river? And dear students, do you know the answer? The correct answer is as animate beings. As animate beings. They are not the beings. They have been animated. So this is called personification. One more point I want to mention here about this poem, that this poem has a certain rhyming scheme, and I have already told you about the rhyming scheme: A, B, B, A, A, B, B, A, C, D, C, D, C, D. So this is the format of the poem. Now come to the content of the poem. Come to the theme of the poem. Come to the central idea of this poem. And what is the central idea? Remember, if I talk about the background of the poet, if we talk about the age of a certain poem, it has certain necessity here. Unless you know about romantic poetry, unless you know about inclination of William Wordsworth towards nature and natural beauty, it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult for you to understand the poem. So boys, what is the theme? The first and foremost thing about this poem is that the poet has treated his own native city, the great city, London, as a natural landscape. Very surprising, boys, very surprising. We will have to understand London even at that time, even in the year 1802. Yes, this poem was composed on September 3, 1802. So even in the year 1802, London was a great city. London was a city, a center of activities, various activities. It was a city full of noise. Industrial city. Industrial revolution began from that city. But for William Wordsworth, it is a part of nature. It is an extension of natural landscape. So in this poem, the poet celebrates that his own native city, London, is a part of natural landscape, and this is one of the features, this is one of the characteristics of romantic poetry, what we see here. And then what is the theme? Just in very short, I am going to tell you, and in another video I will explain it in details. But now, in very short, just let me explain it to you. On September 3, 1802, William Wordsworth, with his sister, with his cousin Dorothy, was crossing the bridge. It is also perceived that he was going to Paris, and he was crossing the river, the bridge, Westminster Bridge. In the video, I think you will find the photograph of Westminster Bridge in the background, and all of you have seen a very famous monument, Westminster Bridge. So he was crossing the river early in the morning. This is a very significant point in this poem. Very early in the morning, William Wordsworth was crossing the river, and when he was crossing the river, at that time, in the very early morning, the atmosphere, the ambience was so tranquil, was so quiet, was so peaceful that the poet, great William Wordsworth, became spellbound. He was spellbound, mantra-mugdh. He was impressed, he was fascinated to find the beauty around, the natural beauty around Westminster Bridge. And he has expressed his powerful feelings about that atmosphere. And he was so impressed that he uses a very significant line in this poem. Dull would he be of soul. This is my favorite line. Dull would he be of soul. Dull would he, a person, be of soul, Atma. If a person crosses that place at that time, and if the person is not impressed by such kind of beauty, if the person is not attracted towards such kind of calm atmosphere, that person is a person of dead soul. This is what poet means to say. If a person is not attracted towards nature, the beauty of nature, if he is incapable of appreciating natural beauty, he is a man of dead soul. This is the poet William Wordsworth, a poet of nature. Dear students, I want to tell you, when we say a poet of nature, it doesn't mean that a poet has to describe the river, the valley, the mountain, the trees, the sun, the sea. No. Only the description of these things cannot make you a poet of nature. A poet of nature for William Wordsworth means huge admiration for nature and natural beauty. At one place, William Wordsworth had said himself, I prefer death to the life without love for nature. If there is no love for nature in life, it is worse than death. This is the poet. This is the romanticism. This is love for nature. So the poet says, dull would he be of soul. A person who doesn't appreciate such kind of natural beauty is a man of dead soul. Another line I want to quote for you. Never saw I. Actually, the poet also uses one more figure of speech voice, and this figure of speech is called hyperbole. Hyperbole, Hyperbole. Hyperbole. Hyperbole is the exaggeration. Exaggeration, किसी भी चीज को पूरी तरह एक हाइट पर ले जाना, पैरामाउंट पर ले जाना. कोई व्यक्ति प्रकृति के प्रति आकर्षित नहीं होता, उसकी आत्मा ही मरी हुई है. It is extreme point. This is called hyperbole. And again the poet uses never saw I, never felt. मैंने इसके पहले कभी देखा ही नहीं था, कभी ऐसा महसूस ही नहीं किया था. It may be hyperbole, but we should not sideline, we should not ignore the strong feelings of the poet William Wordsworth about his feelings, about his emotions. never saw I, never felt a calm so deep, a calm so deep, इतनी गहरी शांति, इतना गहरा सुकून मैंने आज तक अपने जीवन में महसूस नहीं किया था. This is what William Wordsworth means to say. And what about so deep calm? ये सुकून, ये शांति कहां से मिली? From nature. From nature, from natural beauty. When the poet felt such a tranquil atmosphere, calm atmosphere, he was spellbound. He was fascinated. And then he appreciates, he admires, he praises, he is singing the paeans. This is William Wordsworth. This is the poem. Boys, dear students, I like to continue, but this video should not be too long. It may be difficult. So I hope I will continue to explain this poem in the better manner in the next video. So till now, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.